Hey guys, I've been stringing a lot of thrown mesh lately, and I just wanted to go ahead and do a little bit of a review on it. It is the mesh that I prefer to use in all my sticks. Both of my gamers have it. Well, my gamer and my backup, they both use thrown mesh, and I've never experienced anything bad with it, dye quality or anything like that. I know there are people that try and say that the wax fades off and that the dye fades, but those people, if you ever hear someone say that, you should just skip their review because they obviously just don't know what they're talking about. So right here, I have some brand new thrown mesh, never taken out of the package, so I'm just going to go ahead and do a stretch test and talk to you a little bit about it. Thrown mesh, I think like East Coast mesh, they both infuse the wax into the mesh, so there is no flaking whatsoever. You open up the piece and it's nice and stiff. No, not stiff, like, it's almost like a cross between soft mesh and semi-hard, which I really like. It makes stringing a lot easier because I found that I don't like stringing soft mesh because of the bagginess. I definitely like a harder mesh. I feel like you can get your top string a lot tighter and a lot more secure when you know how the pocket is going to feel, and you have that sturdiness to be able to string. So as you can see, from where it was bent, it does have the give, which is going to simulate what it is like when it's broken in. But as you can see, it really doesn't sag that much. But when you stretch it out, it holds its shape amazingly. And then you just stretch it back out, and it goes back to its original shape. So, thrown mesh is not waterproof, but it's water resistant. And I've played in about 2 or 3 rain games where people are just thrown to the ground, their passes are off. They're blaming it on their stringing, that they need to get their pocket restrung, and I had no problems. The pocket performs the same way. The only thing that I'm going to say is, if you're going to have wax mesh and it starts performing funny, most likely it's because you're using cotton shooters, like these. These are cotton, and they're not the nylon ones. They absorb a lot more water, which is going to affect your whip. You're going to have a lot more whip with wet shooters than you are with some dry, fresh, strung ones. So that is something to think about when you're going into a wet game situation. Don't automatically blame your mesh, because most of the time it's honestly not the mesh's fault. Thrown mesh, there are no flaws with it. Other than the fact that it's not completely waterproof, that's the only thing that he could improve on. And honestly, that's pretty difficult. If you think about it, there's not many things that are completely waterproof, even in any circumstance. So, I have, like I said, this is brand new, so you can see it. I just stretched this, and you can't even tell which end I stretched. So that's it. Brand new out of the package. This is my all-white Rebel X that I strung up with thrown mesh. This has only been strung, never pounded, other than my hand forming the pocket and actually just stringing it. So you can see, you got an amazing channel shape. Just a great pocket in general. Great pocket shape. The end flap folds up really nice and cleanly. It stays there. You just have to pinch the mesh right here, where you get those little extra diamonds. Just pinch it and it'll hold its shape there. Doesn't bag off. So that's what it looks like when you just string it up. This is strictly just strung and pushed with my hand. As you can see, holds its pocket. You can see how defined the channel is. Everything about it just strings up amazingly. Now, this stick is the exact same pattern, but it has been played with. I've played with this for probably about 5 or 6 practices. This is my gamer setup. As you can see, the channel is more or less the exact same. Of course, there's going to be some break-in. It's probably going to get a little bit wider depending on how you strung it. But that's for any mesh. And as you can see, it's a little bit more baggy. Now, that is because of the bottom string that I chose. Again, people try and blame everything on the mesh. When I'm watching reviews and stuff like that, I can't stand when people blame everything on the mesh and don't take any accountability for themselves. This bottom string is not to give you a defined pocket. It's supposed to let the ball drop down a little bit. So that's how you get that bag look. If you want a nice defined where it looks like that all the time, break your shooter up on a 9-diamond row. Go over 3, down, and up the same loop and over 3. That's how you're going to get a defined pocket. So overall, a review of all Throne. I actually have the shooter locks that Throne uses and pretty much revolutionized. They honestly are so much better than tying your knots. You can get a lot better shooter quality and life out of them, because when you have to change the tension or anything, just loosen them the way you want them to be, or tighten them the way you want to be, slide them back on. There's no retying your knots or worrying about if you don't have enough string. So overall, Throne Mesh, if you have a chance, buy a piece. You won't be disappointed, I guarantee you that. If you like a softer mesh, I wouldn't go with Throne Mesh. Or if you like a softer mesh, I'd go with a 20 mil piece and get a white piece. Solid colors, in my experience, are stiffer, which again is not a problem for me. I like stiffer mesh. It takes a little bit longer to break in, but other than that, and when I say longer to break in, I'm talking about maybe an hour or two of wall ball, and that's as broken in as your pocket's gonna be. Now, one more comparison. I'm gonna try and wrap this up in about a minute and a half. I have another Rabel X strung with hard mesh. Had a friend string this up. I didn't do it. I was going to trade him for it, but I'm going to send this back to him because, as you can see, it's really warped. So that was not a great day for me. But as you can see, I honestly can't even push this up. The pocket doesn't go anywhere. That's your channel. Of course, it's not the same pattern, of course, but it's the same principles. And this is just your standard hard mesh, Throne Mesh. The differences are astounding. One's game ready, out of the package. That, I wouldn't even give that to a beginner. This head is amazing, but the mesh doesn't know justice. So if you want to grow your game a little bit, spend the extra $5-7 for Throne Mesh. And if you got a couple extra bucks, throw in a couple of shooter locks, because I greatly am a fan of them. When they came out, I was skeptical. I was very skeptical. I didn't really think that they would be successful or work. I thought maybe that they would just slide off, or the tension wouldn't hold. But the quality, or wherever he has them made, the tension of the coil and the spring on the inside is enough to really even keep it gripped right there on my nylon. Like, I have that on a nylon and it won't come off. So I was very pleased to see that. So again, these are my Rabel X's. If anyone wants the patterns for these, you can comment. I'm sure I'll give it away. I'm really not stingy with my patterns. So like I said, I wanted to wrap this up relatively shortly. So that is my take on Throne Mesh. If you like this video, leave it a like. I'm going to be making, I think, another video. I actually have one other stick to show you. This is also Throne Mesh. This is completely broken in. This is a season old black to white fade, as you can see. That is as much dirt as it collected. So for a full season, that is not much dirt. I've seen my hard mesh and everything gets all dirty, just as bad as this. So when people say that it collects dirt, it really doesn't. And as you can see, even after a season, I just strung this up today and I can still get an amazing channel right out of the package. Great pocket, is going to perform perfectly for my likes. Honestly, there's just nothing bad I can say about Throne Mesh, other than the fact that it's not fully waterproof. But again, you can't expect miracles from a piece of mesh. So for the price, I would definitely suggest picking up a piece of Throne Mesh, and it is by far my favorite wax mesh. So that is pretty much a wrap up of this video. I didn't do a water test because there have been so many others. If you want a water test, you can go watch Throne of Strings video on his channel. It's going to be the same thing. It's going to bead up. It's going to roll off. You're not going to see any absorption right away. Unless it's pouring down like 6 inches of rain while you're playing, you're not going to have any problems with water absorption. So that is my take on Throne Mesh. I'd gladly subscribe to their channel again if I could. I watched almost all of his videos. Yeah, definitely go to throneofstring.com, order yourself a couple pieces, string it up, and let him know about it. He enjoys watching your videos and seeing your videos. So I'm going to finish this video. It's going on 10 minutes. I know it's a pretty long video for you guys. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and leave me a subscription. I'm going to be changing my channel soon, so look forward for an update video explaining what's going to go on and what's going to happen. I have a feeling I'm going to lose quite a bit of subscribers just because the crossover isn't always as effective as I'd like it to be. I think I'm up to around 50 or 60 subscribers, which is great. I thank all of you who are watching my videos. I only do this for a hobby. This is not anything. I don't make any money off of this. So just to know that people are watching this is a great thing. So thank you very much for your time. That's all for today. Well, for this video. I might be uploading another video later. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you guys later. See ya.